unfold yourself to me.
Daphne.
A child would be a blessing.
Bridgerton is a great show with some really awesome and different characters. How could it not be? Most of the characters were created by the incredible author Julia Quinn in a series of books, and they came to life on screen through the incredible Shonda Rhimes and creator Chris Van Dunstan, who is also known for creating amazing characters. But great characters don't always mean characters that we love. Sometimes it can even mean characters that are so well written that we absolutely hate them too. These are Bridgerton's most loved and hated characters, so spoilers ahead. Also, if you enjoyed this video, then please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, as well as hit the post notification bell so you never miss another update from us. Nigel Berbrooke. He is the absolute worst. A character that I think definitely deserves the most hated spot. In the books, he was more of a sad, pathetic character, although definitely did end up hitting him in the book. But in the series, Nigel's just plain evil. He's arrogant and proud and just generally a terrible guy. The fact that he even tried to force Daphne to marry him just makes him even clearer. Luckily, she was rescued from that fate, and we could all put Nigel Berbrooke behind us. Portia Featherington. The only redeeming quality that she really has is that she wanted what's best for her kids, but that's basically where it ends. She doesn't listen to her daughters and keeps forcing them to live by her rules and do what she wants them to do, including the way she dresses them. And the way that she treats Marina is unforgivable. Marina was entrusted to Portia's care, so you would expect her to properly look after her, but instead, she never has had her best interests at heart. It even tricks Marina into believing that the love of her life harshly abandoned her. Marina Thompson. Marina has reasons for acting the way she did, but she had so many bad moments that I honestly can't get myself to like her. She's a strong woman that's just trying to make a life for herself and her child in a world where she really has no chance of her own. But she has an air of superiority and even acts the way towards Penelope, who tries to befriend her from the start. I know that Penelope kind of turned her later on, but if somebody was trying to trick somebody you loved into marrying them, how would you act? And the fact that Marina tries to trick Colin into marrying her is the last nail in her coffin of likability. Colin is the sweetest among the elder Bridgerton boys. We all know he would have helped her anyway if she just asked him. So, acting that she loved him and trying to fool him into believing the baby was his is just unforgivable. Cressida Cowper. Cressida has not been featured much in the show yet, but that makes sense due to the fact that the character only really is featured in later books. But from what we've seen, she's pretty horrible. In the books, she's way worse, so I might be influenced by knowing how bad she gets. But even in the short amount of time that Cressida is on screen, she already manages to create problems. She tries to sabotage Daphne, and while we might be able to understand her actions, how she goes about doing it is seriously harsh. Queen Charlotte. There's moments that this character is absolutely awesome and really cool. She doesn't care what others think. She's helped create a town that's diverse and inclusive. And in the beginning, when she likes Daphne, she does everything in her power to help her. But when things don't work out according to her plans, she turns on Daphne. She's an incredibly strong character, but is totally selfish and can be mean at times. At first, she encourages Eloise, but then she moves on without her and completely cuts her off. Because Daphne chooses a different man than the one that she chose for her, she tries to stop the marriage between Simon and Daphne. But in the end, she does see reasoning and everything works out. Anthony Bridgerton. As a fan of the books, seeing Anthony come to life on screen was a little bit painful to watch. He comes across as a complete jerk. In the books, he's very stubborn and always thinks that he knows best, but in the series, he takes this to the extreme. He makes decisions without even taking into consideration what others are feeling, and he acts completely without thinking. But I do think his family is still his priority. He cares deeply for them, but he takes his position as head of the family way too seriously. But he does change his ways when his mom speaks to him, and hopefully he will completely redeem himself in the next season. Benedict Bridgerton. As the second son, Benedict has none of the responsibilities that Anthony has, and this allows him to be much more free. He's also a man, and being the time that he lives in, it allows him to do pretty much whatever he wants, like going to bohemian parties or being an artist. But he really is a nice character that is open-minded and cares more about other people and who they are and then what they are. He doesn't judge others and doesn't care what somebody's title is. He really is just an artist that doesn't care about the rules of society, and he has the freedom to explore boundaries. Penelope Featherington. She is so sweet and kind and a really great friend, friend. Yes, she does kinda end up throwing Marina under the bus, but she does it to protect a lifelong friend and the person she loves. But when you do look at her alternate personality, it does make her look pretty bad. As Lady Whistledown, she puts her family and friends to shame, but I think that deep down, Penelope's a really nice character that's got a great heart. And when we learn her reason for creating Lady Whistledown, we might understand her character better. Violet Bridgerton. Yes, I know that Lady Bridgerton seriously failed big time when it came to speaking to Daphne about the birds and bees. But hey, she is a 19th century mom, and it was difficult for her. Overall, she is a really great character. Violet lost her husband and was responsible for raising all of her kids and keeping her family together. She's close to all of her kids, and their happiness is the most important thing to her. She wants them to be happy as she was with her father. Lady Danbury. This has got to be one of the best Julia Quinn characters ever. Lady Danbury is just as great in the show. She's a woman who doesn't take nonsense from anybody. She confronts Simon's father, and she takes care of Simon as a kid. And while she loves Simon like a son, she doesn't hesitate to speak her mind when he is wrong. She's loving and is a strong woman. Daphne Bridgerton. The main character in season 1, people soon fell in love with Daphne Bridgerton almost as quickly as Simon did. Yes, she had a really bad moment that was far from okay as you would get, but since then, Simon forgave her, and I guess we can too. She's caring and loves her family, and even takes on a lot of responsibility as the eldest daughter, and a lot of what she does is to protect her sisters. She grows into a strong woman who's incredibly caring. Simon Bassett. Simon is a great character who isn't willing to change himself to fit into the town. In fact, he embraces being different. He does make some mistakes, and that includes using Daphne's lack of knowledge to allow her to believe that he can't have children. But he's still a strong character that has overcome a lot, who loves his wife fiercely. Colin Bridgerton. He is the niece of the Bridgerton sons. He's caring and respectful for those around him. He treats Penelope with respect, even when others don't see her for who she is, and he's kind-hearted. He's always looking out for her. He cared for Marina and put his heart and his reputation on the line for her. He would have even looked after her if she would have only told him the entire truth. Colin is definitely a good guy that deserves being called a loving character. Hyacinth Bridgerton. Sure, she hasn't had a lot of screen time yet, but she's already become one of the most beloved characters in the series. In the books, she was even better. She's a strong little girl who has the example of her mother and sisters and has the freedom of being completely herself. She is a feisty little girl that doesn't mind talking back to her big brothers and putting them in their place. In the coming seasons, Hyacinth is going to grow into a lovingly strong woman who is adored by all of her siblings, and I hope that we get to see a lot more seasons of Bridgerton so as to be able to make it to her book. Eloise Bridgerton. The most loved character in Bridgerton has to be Eloise. She's incredibly smart and very strong. She speaks her mind whenever she feels that she needs to. She doesn't mind being different from her mom and sisters, or, well, even different from the other women in the town. If Eloise lived in a different time, she would have been the head of a giant firm, and she would have lived her best single life. Luckily for her, she is a Bridgerton, and that does give her a certain amount of freedom. Not as much as Benedict, but still way more than any other woman in the town. She gets frustrated with her situation, but she's still caring and loving as a great sister and friend. Her quirky personality, with her intuitive mind and her loving heart, makes Eloise the most loved character in Bridgerton. There's some really awesome and fun characters in Bridgerton, some that are really great, and others that are just plain terrible. And since Netflix has already renewed Bridgerton all the way through season 4, we can be sure that we're going to meet a more awesome character in the very near future, and get to know the remaining ones even better. Who knows who our favorite character will be in season 2? I don't know, but I can't wait to find out.